Today I'm gonna look a little bit more at some post-flop stuff in part 2 and also part 3 as well. I plan on doing that too. But anyway here, so let's get started. And we'll go with a hand here that I played a little while ago. It was a 9-handed game in which 2 people limped and I had 10-9, 3-2 double suited and I called on the hijack. The button raised, the small blind called, the big blind called, as did everyone else. So we have 6 people going to the flop there, which the button is a fellow limit hold'em player who happens to play Omaha a lot more often now, and as far as I can tell anyway, seems to be playing pretty well, like pretty aggressively, but not like over the top aggressive, like understands hand ranges, etc. So now the flop comes ace, queen, queen with 2 diamonds, so I have a 10-3 diamond flush draw, and everybody checks to me, and I decided to bet that flush draw in my backdoor nut low draw. The button raised, the small blind called, and everyone folded to me, and I also called. So now on the turn, a 6 of spades, blank other than the fact it puts a low draw out there, and the small blind let out, and I called with my flush draw and 3-2 low draw. The button raised, the small blind called, and I called. Which the small blind, he's like myself, a hold'em player, but he has way less Omaha experience, so kind of reading into his hand, I feel like it's pretty likely he either has trips or a full house. Like at this point I'm thinking queen 6 is a strong possibility, and I'm pretty sure that button also would come to the same conclusion. So at this point I'm kind of thinking that button can beat that hand, or who knows, maybe he does have something like king queen with some kind of low draw, maybe even a 3-2 low draw or something like that. But anyway, I'm kind of putting button on having a strong high hand too at this point, given that he raised the flop and the turn. So now the river is the 5 of hearts, which gives me the nut low. And the small blind checked. I decided to check based on the read of button likely having a high hand, so I figured he'd bet, in which he did. Small blind called, I raised, the button 3-bet. Small blind called the 3-bets, I 4-bet. The button called and the small blind called. In which the results of that hand were the button had ace queen for a flop full house. The small blind did have, in fact, queen 6-6 for flop trips that turned into a full house, and I managed to get half the pot with my runner low draw, in which at the time I wasn't sure if I played this hand correctly or not, but I was kind of happy with the result, that being if I check to the button and he bets and the small blind check raises, I probably should fold for 2 cold there with just having a 10 high flush draw, being that it might not be the best flush draw, or somebody might already have a full house, or if they have trips, or both people have trips, there's lots of ways they fill up. But so anyway, at the time I was kind of happy with how I played the hand, or at least I thought I was, but then I started talking with some people who play a lot more Omaha than me, and kind of came to the conclusion that I shouldn't be betting this flop, and that just betting it for the reason of tying myself to the hand isn't necessarily a great reason to be betting the hand.